Welcome to the Weaves Guidebook, Light Bastion. In this video, we'll be discussing the challenges that face you as you climb through Weaves 1, 41, 81, and 121. The first section of this video will cover the various spawns, as well as their triggers, if you just want to know what lies ahead in order to get started. The second section will cover the various strategies that can be used to complete the weave if you want some more specific advice. If you'd like some more general tips on completing high-level weaves, refer to my Weaves Guidebook, an introduction video, linked in the description below. Let's get started. The spawns on this map are triggered once you move inside the first keep. Once you do this, on top of the roaming enemies you will be fighting, 9 shielded storm vermin will spawn. There will be a slight delay, usually enough time to clear out the first wave of storm vermin, and another set of 9 shielded storm vermin will spawn. Moving into this part of the keep also triggers this map's ongoing spawns. Every minute on the minute, a rotation of spawns is triggered, whether you're triggering more spawns or not. This rotation begins with 6 storm vermin, the next minute it will be 6 berserkers, and the next minute it will just be some Skaven slaves. The next minute, this rotation repeats. Because of this, you may find yourself facing any triggered spawns, along with these ongoing spawns, should you happen to trigger a spawn as another minute goes by. As you move into the second keep, you will trigger a spawn that includes 7 plague monks, a stormer, and a gas rat. The plague monks can really catch you off guard and down you quickly, so make sure to keep your block up if you're not sure where they are. After a short delay, a warpfire thrower and a gas rat will spawn, and after another delay, another gas rat will spawn along with a blight stormer. The warpfire thrower and initial gas rat come from the third keep and are fairly easy to head off if you're moving fast enough, so try to get rid of them before they cause too many problems. The second stormer and second gas rat spawn locations are relatively unpredictable as they are determined by player location. Moving into the third keep will set off a series of spawns that include about 11 berserkers, 7 blightstormers, and eventually, an assassin. These blightstormers tend to spawn on the far side of the walkway, heading to the fourth keep, and can be your best friends if you choose to be nice to them. More on that later. The assassin spawns on the right side, near the exit of the third keep, and can be very easy to handle if you know where he's coming from. Midway between the third and fourth keep, a warpfire thrower will spawn on the battlements to the right, and as you get closer to the fourth keep, 4 bannerman groups will spawn, one of which tends to spawn behind whoever triggered the spawn. The warpfire thrower usually jumps down near the obelisk and is very easy to kill as long as the map is clear enough. The bannerman can really halt your progress if you're trying to move into the fourth keep, so be sure there aren't too many enemies behind you if you're trying to trigger their spawn. The last spawn is one you'll almost never want to contend with for long, and you'll see why. As you move into the final room of the keep, you will trigger a series of rattling gun and warpfire thrower spawns, on top of the hordes that will also be coming your way. All told, I believe there are 5 warpfire throwers and 4 rattling guns that show up during this section. Oh, and a leash. At the end of this section, on the ground floor, is where the portal will spawn once you've completed the objective. The final battle starts with 2 chaos spawn and a rat ogre, along with some mobs. After a while, 5 bestigors will join the fight because it wasn't hard enough, and about a patrol's worth of storm vermin will also spawn in after a certain amount of time. There are 2 primary strategies we've employed that work for these weaves. The first is the standard game plan, with the party moving forward to defensible positions while the spawner grabbed spawns and brought them back. This strategy works well on weaves 41 and 81. The second strategy is to sprint the map, which has some benefits that we'll discuss later, but mostly works for weaves 81 and 121. If you don't find this weave difficult enough to need a holdout spot, don't worry about it and move forward as a team playing Vermintide the traditional way. If you're tired of getting stabbed in the back because of the way weaves spawns enemies, give some of these safe spots a try. There are a few that can work right at the beginning of the map. The first is just to the right of where you spawn. Standing on the edge here, enemies will walk to you single file so that you can easily form a front line for your ranged DPS or push them off the cliff in droves to their demise. Another is just up the ladder at the right side. Here, you can funnel enemies down the walkway to increase the party's killing efficiency. I suggest having one frontliner with a shield and opportunist who can employ the same ledging strategy as earlier, along with 2 ranged DPS and someone to watch the back, as there is a spawn that will come from behind periodically. The third spot is a bit cheesier, so stay away from it if you don't want to use any exploits. Moving just inside the keep on the ground floor, there is a table on the right side. If you hide behind the table, enemies will have a hard time pathing to you and will mostly just line up and let you kill them. That being said, Be careful not to stuff too many people in here, as bumping each other can put you into range of enemy attacks, especially from plague monks or overheads from armored enemies. There are also other cheese spots on this weave, but they aren't really necessary and don't work as well on this map as other renditions of it, so we'll cover these in a later video. The second strategy is to sprint the map. This strategy has the inherent risks of spawning a lot of enemies all at once, both in front of and behind the party. Because of this, I suggest bringing several high mobility classes, particularly those that have shields or good escape tools. Make sure to put 5% on your trinket, as it will only take up one property slot and massively improve survivability. The benefit of this strategy lies in how many stormers will spawn on such a cramped map. Because of the insane damage scaling enemies get at higher level weaves, light stormers become friendly fire machines. This is especially true on Bastion, because they are capable of throwing enemies off the map without having to deal damage to them. If you play this strategy right, the only things you are likely to kill yourself are some of the specials. The Blightstormers will do the rest. Run through the map, ignoring all enemies as you go. Have everyone except the spawner stay in the central clearing area, kiting in circles together. The spawner should then continue through the third keep, triggering the main Blightstormer spawn, and head back to the party. If the spawner doesn't have Wraithwalk or the ability to push through hordes, they may have to leave and rejoin to get back to the party. You will notice that the Weave's completion bar fills far quicker this way than if you were trying to kill everything yourself. If there are too many storms and things are starting to get a little risky, don't feel bad about clearing out a few of the Blightstormers, as you don't need all of them. No matter which strategy you choose, you should be able to open the portal before you head into the final area of the final keep. This is important, as fighting in here can be very risky. Once the portal is open and your party is ready, make the run as a group towards the portal, trying to stay on the top floor of the room as long as possible. The bottom level of this room has a lot of twists and turns and can be very difficult to navigate in a timely manner. Fighting 2 Chaos Spawn, a Rat Ogre, Bestigors, and Storm Vermin can be a lot easier than it sounds. If you are on a lower level weave, you may have to fight the monsters traditionally or resort to ledging. If that is the case, get one player who is really good at kiting to grab the aggro of all 3 and start circling the map. Their only job is to stay alive. The rest of the party can then spend their time clearing up the mobs. One way to make sure one player keeps the monsters aggro is to run Lingering Flames Sienna. Have the player apply their dot to all 3 monsters. Because she will now be doing consistent damage to them, they will continue to aggro onto her as long as no one else hits them. Once that is done, pull monsters off the kiter one at a time until you have eliminated them all. If you are on wave 121, it may be in your best interest to let the monsters kill themselves. Once again, because of the insane damage scaling, kiting the monsters around gives them ample time to kill each other with their splash attacks. You can see here in one of my run-throughs of the map how damaged this Chaos Spawn is, and I've hardly done anything to it. They will also kill any of the mobs that are foolish enough to get close to them. With this knowledge, Light Bastion should be a breeze. If your group is still stuck, don't hesitate to reach out to me or other players in the Ranked Weaves Discord, linked in the description below. If you thought this video was helpful, feel free to like and subscribe. More videos like this one will be going up weekly, so I will be covering the weave you're stuck on eventually. Take care.